Welcome to Jail Tales,
where we bring you
Tales from the Jails.
I'm Kayla.
And I'm Sage, and today we have our first special guest.
Woo!
This is Jared, one of my really great friends. It's extra special that he's our first guest because he has been basically our first supporter. He was telling everybody about us and following us on all the things, so super great to have him here today.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here, Jared.
It's my pleasure.
He's in the Chase Lounge, the guest lounge.
Yes, this will be the guest lounge.
Biggie, go wait. Biggie's also a guest, I guess.
This is Biggie,
Biggie, say hi.
Notorious P.I.T. Her dog.
Biggie Smalls.
So, our question for you today
Yes.
is we want to hear about some of your arrest stories. Start with the craziest arrest story or the worst arrest story.
My craziest arrest story was actually done in a place in Oklahoma. So I had a toll that I hadn't paid, and so of course they restricted my license, and so I wasn't supposed to be driving, but I wasn't aware.
Okay.
And so whenever I was driving on the interstate to go to work, because I was driving from Oklahoma to Arkansas to do this,
Okay.
and I was passing this small town, I got pulled over by the city police on the interstate.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, I don't think they're supposed to do
They're not supposed to do that. And so they pulled me over, and they were like, you realize your license is revoked, right?
Ooh.
And I was like, oh, I had no idea, no.
Question, pause. Did they pull you over because it was revoked? How did they know?
They ran my license plate. Like, I wasn't speeding or
I
anything.
didn't know that they could do that just by running plates now.
I don't think
Yes.
they can.
Oh.
But so they had no
Well,
reason.
it's registered to you, so if you're the registered owner, they assumed you're driving and it was suspended, so it was like...
Possibly,
Okay.
yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
But they really had no reason to pull me over, and they pulled me over. City cop on an interstate, so it wasn't even supposed to be doing that in the first place. And then I explained, hey, I had no idea, I'll pay my fines, whatever. And they were like, well, we're going to have to impound your car and take you in.
Oh my god.
Because you're not supposed to be driving, you're not licensed, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm on my way to work, so on and so forth. And then they ended up taking me in, started processing me, and this was in a municipal court system. So, like, I don't know if you guys know anything about municipal
I
court,
don't,
federal
really.
courts, but they have no checks and balances. Nobody, ever does anything. So, whenever I was getting checked in, I was going through my divorce at the time and everything. I was living at my parents', and it was just a really stressful time. And so I was going through a lot of real depression
Oh, yeah.
type stuff. And so this was kind of like a breaking point. And
You were about to snap as is.
yeah, absolutely. And as they were processing me, they were like, are you okay? Everything all right? I was like, honestly, I feel like I'm gonna kill myself here. And they were like, quit joking with us, man. Like, quit playing around, blah, blah, blah. And if you say something like that, you're supposed to be getting checked by a mental health professional.
Immediately.
Yeah, and everything like that.
They take it
didn't-
very
They
serious
didn't do that.
nowadays.
They made me change out and everything.
Wow.
They didn't even give me my one phone call. Didn't, nothing. And I was like, wow, you guys are, really just scummy.
Yeah.
Absolute scum of the earth. And,
The smaller places seem to be because there's nobody that holds people accountable.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, checks and balances.
yeah.
There's not a tier.
No.
There's not somebody saying like you're not being a proper officer. Like they're just like, oh, I have a badge, which makes it bad for other people that actually
Right.
are decent.
Right, exactly.
There's not
did
many.
Did they let you call your work before they took you in?
No.
So you couldn't even
No.
tell them,
I
hey,
couldn't tell
this
work
is happening.
What if you had
anything.
lost your job and then
They don't
therefore your
care.
home,
Mm-hmm.
therefore your pets, kids? It just is a trickle down system.
Yeah.
That's
And a
so
waste
Um,
of people that like aren't even really a threat to the system. Like, why are we not arresting people that are actually a threat to the system? People that are like abusive or something.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times people's stuff gets thrown out and they should be arrested for abuse, and they're like, oh well.
Yeah, or they serve very little
And
time
then
for
something
committing
like that.
a serious crime.
I don't feel like you should be arrested for not paying money. I'm pretty sure
Well,
in
they
the
should have just
Constitution
given you
that's
a
like
warning.
debtor's prison, right? Like you're not supposed to be arrested for it being in debt or failing to pay.
Right.
I think if you read the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but technically it became suspended license, and so then
they
it
take it
becomes
from there. But he
That's-
shouldn't be in trouble in the first place for not paying something like that. Like,
Right.
yeah. And if there's no report of them having ever like pulled you over and told you before, then they should have just given you a
Giving me
warning.
a warning. And
right.
And then, so to continue on with that, so like that whole situation really got me in a tippy. Got out. My mom ended up getting a call from my work and was like, "Hey, we haven't heard from Jared. Is he coming into work or whatever?" And she was like, "Oh, I have no idea." And then ended up calling my phone, and they answered my phone while I was
which
in
is not
jail.
okay
jail.
either.
No.
They're supposed to power it off and not go through
Yeah.
it because they're not supposed to be in it without a warrant.
Yes. So.
Unless you gave them permission, said here, but even then, like, I
did
think
not.
they still need a warrant.
Yeah, no. So they did a whole bunch of really sketchy shit.
Of
A
course.
lot of really illegal. And so they ended up telling my mom he's been arrested. He's here in this town. Blah,
Which
blah,
is
blah.
information they're not supposed to give to people.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Like a lot.
I mean,
of
it's public
things.
information online, but you still have to wait. Like, you just can't answer the phone and be like, hi.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so she came, bailed me out. And it was like $600 to get me out, and then ridiculous amount.
Did it go towards the bond or did it go towards the toll that you
No, it was the total. Like that, it was the total was $600.
of what you owed?
To well,
Did
no,
you
because
then
I
still go to
still
court?
had to go to court and then pay the $2,000 to get reinstated.
Oh my
$2,000?
god.
Yeah, it was $2,000.
For your
unpaid
license?
tolls?
I don't remember what I think the toll itself, with it being unpaid and everything like that, was like 600 and something.
So they were trying to recoup
And
it in a
so
way.
there was a court date that I had missed, and so that's what added to that. And then
A court date that you didn't know you had.
yes,
But you didn't have a warrant.
it didn't have a warrant, nothing
So
like
did
that.
you still have to pay the toll, the 2,000 and the 600 to get out?
All of it.
Oh my god! So it
Yeah.
ended up being like $3,200.
Yeah, 100%.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
some people can't afford that. The year that I spent where I was, I could have gone home for like 15 something. I mean, I had that other thing.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
But like, our family couldn't afford 1,500 and I sat almost a year. Imagine if his family couldn't have spent that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long would you?
Well, and then so adding on to that, continuing with this scumminess, I got my court date after I got out, and they're like, go ahead and come in, and you can fight this or whatever. And I was like, oh, I fucking will. Sorry, I don't know if we're
No,
allowed.
you're
No,
not.
no, this is adults.
Okay.
We
Okay.
have it set on YouTube where they have to be
It's
adults.
18 or older.
Okay, and I was like, absolutely. And I called every lawyer that I could within the area that, and they're like, we don't mess with that town. It's a municipal court. We don't fight anything
Well,
there.
because they don't want to.
But they
They'll
could've-
lose. They'll lose.
Yeah,
is what
and
it
it'll
is.
put their name in a bad light.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I gave them all the rundown of everything that they did illegal.
Figgy!
And
Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
Roxanne,
He's chasing a bug. Go sit.
go lay down, buddy.
Climb.
Sorry, we have dogs out, so they
Climb.
get a little territorial.
Well, it's just.
She's
they're gonna
old.
be
She doesn't
loud.
want anyone near her cage, so she's like, "Hey,
He's
go
over here
away."
chasing flies. I can hear him.
Oh, is that what he was doing?
Yeah, he was chasing flies. I mean, great dog, but go sit, Bubba's. Climb.
Okay, continue.
so
Climb.
I went to my court date. Went and this was during COVID time. So of course they had to take your temperature before you went in, wear a
Oh my
mask,
God.
all that jazz. Which I was working in the health profession at the time, and so
Oh, yeah.
it was second nature to me, whatever. And the officer that arrested me was the one taking the temperatures,
Okay.
and he scanned my forehead and was like, "All right, 98.6. Isn't that a little high?"
No.
I was like, "Are you fucking stupid?" Like literally
Is
said
it
that to him.
98.7, like ideal body
I
temperature?
Yeah.
98.6 is
Oh, okay.
The
exactly,
ideal, like,
yes.
literal. Yeah, that's
And
not
as a
bad.
healthcare professional, you know that for a
Yes,
fact.
absolutely. And I was like, "You are the biggest fucking idiot I have ever met. Ever met."
How
Why
are
would
you
he
in charge
claim
of
it
this
was
job?
higher? Because normally you're OR'd if you have COVID. Like, they don't want to deal with you with
No,
COVID.
he's not even saying it was higher. He's saying 98.6 was high when it's not high.
I
That's
know,
perfect.
but why would the officer want to say it's high? Because when you have COVID, they don't want you there.
So
You think
Right.
he would
But
say,
he's the one that arrested him, so, he's
So-
probably trying to get him to fucking have to come
my
back.
my guess was he was gonna mark me down as a missed court date, even though I was there,
oh,
and he was gonna get more money
Mhm.
for the town, so on and so forth. But I barged past him. I was like, "Fuck this! You're an idiot. Whatever."
Yeah.
And then I went talked to the judge, And he was like, all right, so here's the evidence against you. What, do you plead guilty or not guilty? I was like, not guilty. And he's like, your license wasn't suspended? I was like, my license was suspended, but unknowingly, so on and so forth. The restriction or revocation has been paid.
Reinstated.
It's all...
Which they normally will be like, if it's reinstated by the time you come to court, then it's like, you're good.
Yeah. But he was like, no, I don't, see that as paid or anything on their system, and was having his clerk like look it up, and I was like, I fucking paid this yesterday. Like, there is no way. And he's like, did you drive yourself here? I was like, yes, I drove myself here. And he's like, on a revoked license, and
No, 'cause I hate it.
went down this whole rabbit hole, and I was like,
Oh
Your
my
Honor,
God.
I request to be tried with jury.
Yeah.
And he was like, by your peers? And I was like, yes, absolutely. He's like, okay, we will close this court, and you have arresting officer, and then like 3 other people that were sitting there that were part of the clergy.
So
And-
everybody that worked there was
Yes,
your peers.
and he was like, okay, trial by jury by peers starts
That's
now.
not how that works.
And he's like,
Not
now
at
you
all.
have 2 court dates to pay for. And he's like, do you want to continue this? And I was like, you are the biggest fucking, like,
What an ass.
Scum-
Over a toll.
An
over a
unpaid
toll.
toll.
Yeah,
And,
an unpaid
and you
toll.
hadn't gotten the mail for it because you'd moved, right?
Because I moved, because I was at my parents'.
Oh my god.
And so I was so livid. So after like $4,200 paid to this
Jeez.
court system and being arrested for no given
Which
reason because
also
they
will
shouldn't
show
have
up
had that
online.
jurisdiction.
It doesn't go away.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's still going to show up.
Yeah. So that was probably the worst experience I've ever had.
Yeah,
I'd be
Being
pissed.
arrested and all that
understandably.
jazz.
And so now you hate driving through that town when you go back to visit.
Oh man, I've thought about slashing tires. And everything.
Not worth the
I-
extra
I
stuff.
still remember the officer's name. I will not say it, but
Do you know what it reminds me of? My Cousin Vinny, the movie, where they're just like they harass. Have you ever seen the movie?
what movie?
My Cousin Vinny.
Uh-uh.
It's 2 like Italian boys driving through a little Alabama. They're in a podunk ass town in Alabama,
Uh-huh.
and they go into a gas station, and there's like no carts, and like the guy actually puts a can of tuna in his pocket just because he's literally about to drop all his groceries, and I don't think he was even trying to steal it. Pays for all these groceries. They leave. He realizes the can of tuna is in his pocket. Well, they get pulled over for murdering 2 clerks at that same gas station. Okay, and with the car with like their plates and everything. So he's like, they're in interrogation. He's like, thinking they're talking to him about the can of tuna. He's like, did you do it? And he's like, yeah, I did it, but I didn't mean to.
I
And
need
he's
to
like,
watch this.
you shot the clerk. And the guy goes, I shot the clerk, but he's saying it like in a questioning way. Like,
Oh my god.
I shot the clerk. And he goes, yes, you have it on
Just
camera.
admitted it.
You
Yeah.
said you shot the clerk. I shot the clerk. And he keeps going, I shot the clerk. So then they have to get representation. Well, his cousin Vinny is Joe Pesci.
Oh, okay.
He comes from New York with his little New York Brooklyn girlfriend, and they've got like all these fancy clothes, and this backwards ass Alabama judge is like, you better be dressed right in my courtroom. He doesn't actually have his law degree, so he's faking sending them law degrees.
Oh my god.
It is hilarious, and these kids are being tried for murder by Joe Pesci as their lawyer.
Oh my god.
It is one of the funniest but craziest court type of movies, but that's that type of shit. Like,
yes.
they have a jury come and stuff, and it's so backwards Alabama, like there was no checks and balances at all. It was just like, this is the way we do stuff here in Alabama, and they're
Yeah.
like, we're screwed. We're
Oh
going to
my
jail for
God.
murder.
Yeah.
That's-
I shot the clerk. I shot the clerk. Oh, that'd be so.
That reminds
such
me
a
of
good movie.
the.
I'm gonna watch that tonight.
We should watch that. That reminds me of the Kevin Hart skit where he's talking about like the dude not speaking clear at all, and he's like, and you're trying to understand, and he's like, bah bah, boom boom, ah.
Boom, bang, pop, punch, pop, talking
Yeah.
about his uncle out of prison.
Oh, maybe. And then he's
He's
like,
talking about his uncle.
and then he's like, did I see this? Did somebody get murdered and I was a witness? Have you seen that
I
skit?
haven't.
Oh, it's
no.
old Kevin
Yeah,
Hart.
'cause
It's
he's
so
talking about
funny.
his uncle and how
I
his
think
uncle's
it's
like,
I think
hee ha hoo ha, something like that. And he's like, the way his uncle talks, because he's
it might be the
crack or
uncle,
something.
but I think it was a different one. But it's so funny. It's like, am I
I
a
can't even
witness?
do it, but it's really funny. He cracks me up.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Old Kevin
Anyway,
Hart.
I like
off topic,
Kevin
but
Hart,
that's
yeah.
funny.
Yeah, I like it. I would have liked to have seen him when he was at his prime.
Right.
Yeah,
He's
kind of.
funnier again now, but he had a little like.
Well, when they play
spot
the
of
stuff
time where
too
he's
much and it's too much of the same kind of.
No, I mean he
Bit.
had like two movies or
Oh. Well, they
Whatever,
were overdoing
you know.
movies. He was cranking them out with everybody at the point. It's too much.
slow down a second. He had 2 comedy films, like not movies, but like comedy.
His stand-up.
Yes, that came out, and they were just. It was like after he'd settled down and got married again and
Uh-huh.
had his kids, and they just weren't very funny. Have you seen Burt Kaiser, The Machine?
Yes.
Oh my God, he's so funny.
Yes.
That I would like
The
to see in
movie?
person. No, the
Oh, he
comedy.
has a
He's a
movie based off of it
stand-up
now.
guy.
No, I
He's-
know who he is, but
Oh wait, sure.
he has a movie too called The Machine about that skit, The Machine.
He does?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. No.
Like that whole skit about the Russian thing.
Yeah.
They called him The Machine. There's a whole movie now based off that skit that came out last year called The Machine.
Huh.
Oh,
It's a comedy movie with him.
Interesting.
It'd be fun.
Jinx.
It'd be
Jinx.
interesting.
bench poke.
I
don't
also
drink
like
Coke.
that show they do the podcast. He has two bears in a cave with Tom
Oh.
Segura.
Welcome back. Sorry for our short break. All right, back to your stories. So,
My story. Jeez.
so we heard your worst one.
Uh
Tell us another one that happened that's memorable for sure. How many times have you dealt with like being arrested,
huh. 5.
but never
I think
stayed
so.
overnight?
Never stayed overnight.
Okay.
You're lucky.
I either bailed myself out or somebody else bailed me out or
Okay.
whatever. I was never a flight risk, never doing anything crazy.
No,
Yeah.
because you wouldn't bond out so easy if you were.
Right, absolutely.
So he doesn't have the experience of like what happened in jail, what they eat in jail, but he's been arrested, and
It's
that's
enough to go through
also-
that experience for some people. They
Right.
don't want to go to the back after
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Well, even in booking, like they'll give you those sandwiches, the bologna.
Booking's just as bad.
And I'm just like,
If you've ever been before, you haven't been to the back, but when you get there and you know you're not bonding out, you're just like, I'm not bonding. Can you take me to population? And people are like, oh my God, because booking's worse. You sit there for hours and there's people like nodding out,
yeah, and
crazy, and you're just like, can I go to the back? I just want to shower and feel warm.
And it's
and lay
always
down.
humid, and you're always sticky, and like it's
Oh.
just uncomfortable.
So how many
It's supposed
people
to
do
be.
you think were in like the holding cell with you on average? Because I know you said 5 times. So,
So and most of the time I was alone because it was night.
Okay.
But there was one time in San Diego, California, and I was
Damn.
there with 20 people.
wow.
Yeah,
In San
It
Diego,
was-
did you live in California?
yeah. I
Okay.
lived in San Diego for a good minute.
It's probably a big jail.
And he's also lived
It was
in
huge.
Japan for 4 years, which is super cool.
Yeah, lived in Japan for 4 years.
Tell us again how you say McDonald's in Japanese.
Macro dos.
Mackerel de Nado.
Bringing you some education here.
Absolutely.
Fun fact.
So tell us about the time that you got arrested in California.
So that was, I was with my ex-wife, and there was a lot of situations where, domestic violence was involved.
Oh, okay. Wasn't she hurting you?
Yes.
Okay, I remember you talking about
But the first time, I had raised my voice before anything was, happening, and the neighbors heard, called the cops.
that. Oh, yeah.
And then they came and they were like, well, nobody has marks or anything, so we're going to take the guy.
When I lived in Colorado,
Mhm.
they did something very similar. It's like, well, if the police are called, we're taking somebody, and they took him. He's the one that actually called because he was like, we're having a dispute and we can't get through it. So can you guys come help us? And I was like, why are you calling the police, you idiot? Like, this is so stupid. And then they came, and I actually did have red marks on my arm because he had dragged me down the hallway. Not a fun story to really relive.
Climb.
And
Quit
they
catching
arrested
flies,
him.
go.
And, hey, quit messing with the dog.
Well, he's catching.
Okay. Stop. Anyway, yeah, not a fun story to relive, but I ended up like helping him get out and had to go to court on his behalf. And then they would like put a mandatory restraining order in place, like we couldn't be near each other. Even though I was like, well, it's fine, like, but I guess there's domestic violence situations where
Yeah.
the person doesn't want to like
And then
attest
something-
against them, and so for their own safety they do it. But it really wasn't like that. Like that was the only time we had already broken up. We were just still in the same place.
Right.
So
I get where they're coming from though, because that one Gabby chick that was murdered, they had been stopped by police, and she was like, "It's fine, we're okay," and they were not fine and okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And had they intervened, she'd probably still be alive.
Right.
So
Maybe,
there's certain
but
cases.
people break restraining orders like that all the time.
Understandable. It's very difficult in certain cases, especially if you have kids and stuff. Like, what do you do? And they'll say
Yeah.
no contacting to a
Someone
third
from
party.
our hometown that actually lived next to us growing up was abusing his lady and child. You probably remember who I'm talking about. Had 2 sisters and the mom
Oh, no
right
way,
next
really?
to us. He was abusing his girl.
The
and
one that I know that was.
Yes.
Oh.
And the child that was not his, and she was pregnant when he was doing it, and they put a restraining order in place, but she still saw him all the time. So people make that choice on their own sometimes, which is sad and scary. And
Yeah.
there are places to call and things to do to get out of those situations. Hey, shh. So if you're in a situation like that, we urge you to get help and do something. Please don't keep you or your kids in that situation.
He might just lay with you and chill.
That's fine.
Okay, so they were called by
Biggie! He's never that friendly with males. Lay down.
Hi.
You tell me not to do anything. It's kind of hard not to. Look at him.
Okay, you're a big whale.
Let him just lay down.
The neighbors called and voices were raised, but no marks were left, so they took you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's basically all the story anyway.
Were the officers nice? Were they rough?
They were really nice.
Okay.
Maybe they understood the situation.
Yeah, I mean, they were sitting there and they're like, look, you know, for the peace of the community, like, we have to take somebody. And unfortunately, you're the one that raised the voice. You gotta go.
That's happened with my dad as well, I think. Something
And
similar.
I was like,
That's
well,
sad.
I mean,
it's
that's
really illegal to raise your voice.
I think she spit at him and he, I don't know what happened. I don't think he physically touched her, but I think he might have spit back. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I think they took him because he was the male. I think.
well,
or maybe
spitting
both.
at somebody is assault.
It's
so.
felony assault, actually.
With bodily fluids.
But yeah. So in that jail, in that booking, there was literally a whole biker gang.
Oh my God.
And
Very nice.
Yeah. I did not talk to anybody there.
You're
There was
like-
like 2 really crazy homeless guys that were pacing and saying word salad and
Word salad? Oh, just a mixture of stuff.
Yeah,
I was like, they were just saying the word
just
word salad.
gibberish.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? And I was like, I do not belong here. I do not belong here. But yeah,
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
I can't
Sadly,
imagine.
some people that are homeless sometimes prefer to be.
yeah, I think they.
A lot of the homeless population will get arrested on purpose because.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
It's free
food
food
and
and-
3 hots and it's hot, they call it.
yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
But yeah, no, that was
So that one wasn't too bad.
the biggest population that I was part of.
Okay.
But yeah, the ex felt really bad and bailed me out pretty quick. And I think it was only 12 hours that I was
And
in.
she's not even the one that called. It was neighbors.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Which that was. Never mind. That's a different tangent, but.
I mean, you can go on the tangent. We'll follow you.
That was the beginning of the end of our relationship because whenever you get booked, you can't have jewelry and stuff like that.
Oh.
And they were like, well, you can't have your ring. You want us to just give it to you. And I was like, yeah. And of course, we can't talk to each other because, you know, there's a domestic dispute. They have to keep the peace, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
They always separate you to get the story, so
Yeah.
on and so forth.
Right.
So she thought that I was calling it off
By giving her back the ring.
by giving her back the ring.
Oh my gosh.
And so that definitely took a whole toll on our
That's
relationship
just
at the
weird
beginning.
miscommunication, I feel like.
And yeah, absolutely. But anyway, she's crazy anyway. She won't see this at all because she's out to sea, so
Oh, that's
Well,
good.
It's fine regardless, I guess, if it's the truth. Then there you go.
Well, you got to keep the peace when you've got kids. with
yeah,
dogs.
exactly. Yeah.
But did they put a restraining order in place or no?
No.
Wow.
No, it was immediate. Here's a free bus ticket to go home. Went home.
The police gave you
Yeah,
a free bus
Oh, that's
ticket?
crazy.
yeah. So if you get out of jail in San Diego,
Oh.
they give you a free bus ticket.
I thought they only did
Wow.
that for prison and stuff. That's interesting.
Yeah. no.
Interesting.
For
So-
prison, I think
Were you
get
living
200.
in San Diego?
It was right outside of town. It was in a place called Spring Valley
Okay.
in San Diego County. So
We used to live in California as well, but we'll talk about where after.
yeah, and
It
so
was very similar area.
so it's that was one of the more interesting times I was arrested.
I bet.
I ran from the cops one time.
Oh,
Yeah.
let's hear about that.
Sage, oh.
I've never done any of these things, so I'm very curious.
So I was actually
I wouldn't make
17.
I wouldn't make it. I've never tried.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's no way I'd fall and I'd be like, ah, like the,
Oh,
like
she's
the
so
girl,
clumsy.
the girl that dies in like every scary movie, and she's like, ah, that'd be me, and I'd be like, well, and then I'd have extra charges. So there you go.
So I was 17, and me and my buddies, we were out skateboarding, and it was like
Scallywags.
2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
So
okay.
past curfew, skateboarding on personal property,
Mm-hmm.
you know, stuff like that. We saw a
Loitering.
cop drive by, and we were like, we gotta get the fuck out. And so we all hopped in the car, took off, and he decided he was gonna follow us.
Oh.
And so we started weaving through neighborhoods
Uh-huh.
and stuff like that. We came across this section that was closed off.
Oh,
And
no.
so we went down the road that was closed off and then moved the barricade to the other side so that he had to get out to move the barricade if he was going to chase us.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, we ended up getting away.
He didn't get you guys?
No.
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, so I do have one. I've told the cop interaction story before about when I got pulled over, didn't get a ticket, but way long time ago, probably like 15 years ago actually. So my brother is now married to this girl, but
Mhm.
he wanted to go toilet paper this girl's house.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
because
don't-
remember they met in 3rd grade.
Okay.
Now they've been married they've been together almost like 10 or 11 years now.
Now, but this is what way long time. Okay.
Yeah, because he's older than me. So way long time ago, but like 15 years ago, and he wanted to go toilet paper her house. So me and my friend, my female friend, and then like 2 guy friends. One was my brother's guy friend, one was like a mutual guy friend. All 5 of us, is that 5?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all 5 of us
Is that 5?
went and walked from our house to this girl's house, which is across like a main road, but in the city we grew up in, that means nothing.
Uh-huh.
And walked all the way to her neighborhood, so it was like a 20-minute walk at like 2 or 3 in the morning to go toilet papering. And we had like
Oh my
bags of
God.
toilet paper on our back. My mom loved toilet papering. We used to go as like a group and go toilet papering. Don't do
Only
this.
people we like.
Only people we like, that's true. But don't do
And we
this.
don't clean it up the next day normally.
You can't talk from the other room, it's not clear.
God.
So if you're
Yes, director.
If you're over 18, do not do this because don't get arrested. And if you're under 18, probably also don't do it because laws have changed and you don't want to get in trouble.
Right.
But at the time in the place we grew up in and like the way my mom grew up, it was like, oh, it's fun and you know, you're not really doing that much wrong. We luckily never got in trouble, but we would go to paper people's houses that we liked and we called ourselves the Ha 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 crew. We'd write ha ha ha. We would write. Sometimes we went like 10 people deep, all in black clothes.
Oh,
We'd go hit like 3
jeez.
houses in one night, and we'd write ha 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 in the grass with toilet paper and spike it in. And then we would take pictures of their house. Well, my camera was broken, so it would always like flash their house a bunch.
Uh-huh.
So stupid.
Because you had a real camera back then,
I
right?
had the legit Canon camera. It was not broken, but it had like this weird setting. So anyway, we're going to toilet paper this girl's house, all 5 of us, and maybe it was actually like 4 in the morning, so the sun was starting to rise.
Uh-huh.
And a newspaper delivery person saw us and called the cops and told them that 5 young kids are out walking.
Oh my goodness.
This is after you TP though. You were walking.
We hadn't TP'd. We didn't TP.
Oh.
We saw the newspaper person and got suspicious, and so we like decided to just walk around and wait. And then the police officer showed up, 2 cop cars, I believe. And they talked to us, and we made up this story about like, oh, well, I was staying the night at my friend's house, and my brother came to get me because I didn't want to stay, like something had happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't think he even checked our bags. Maybe he did. I don't remember. But he was like, well, I need to call all your parents. And we were like, no, they're all staying the night with us. Because back then, like, all of our friends would stay the night every weekend. They'd sleep in our living room. Like, a ton of people always stay the night at our house. Like, 5 to 10 friends at a time. Because we were, like, the best house to stay at. My mom was always home with us. And so it was a good place to stay.
Yeah, we camp out.
Yeah, my
Oh,
mom would,
they
like,
were
sleep in the
family?
living room with us. And it was fun.
That's awesome.
They didn't really have, like, great home lives. So it was better to be with us.
Good
Right.
food.
Yeah, pool, like we always had tons of fun.
Music. Walking.
We'd do bonfires, whatever. So the police officer was like, I need to confirm this. So he drove all 5 of us. So we had to take 2 cars.
Oh,
My
geez.
best friend, who's a girl, who I've told you about, wanted to ride with this other guy that she liked, which was my brother's friend. So she and my brother and this other guy ended up in one car together, and I had to ride with this third guy that I'm friends with, but like none of the people I'm really close with.
Uh-huh.
So I was like super uncomfortable. I've never dealt with police officers before. Very scared.
In the back of a car.
In the back of a cop car. Only time I've ever been in the back of a cop car.
Well,
And they drove us all to my
Oh,
mom's
wow.
house.
Well,
Yeah, I have way worse stories.
the
just
only
not
time I've been
involving
in the back of a cop car.
Well, 99% of my stories don't involve cops, so I've been very lucky.
Well, we're very opposite.
Yes. But anyway, they drove us all the way home, knocked on my mom's door, and she came out and he was like, they said all these kids are staying here. And she was like, yeah, they are. Is there a reason you're waking me up this early in the morning? I have to work and I have a baby. Like, why are you waking me up? And he was like, well, I thought they were lying, whatever. And so he ended up not giving us tickets, warning, anything. Like, he was just like, okay, well, you guys are good to go. Do you want more?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you, though.
So that was the only time I was ever in the back of a cop car, and we didn't run from the police, but we were seen by somebody. You were seen by a police officer. We were seen by a newspaper delivery.
Bystander.
Yeah, so rude. Just if you don't see somebody actually committing a crime, mind your own business.
Mind your business.
We were just toilet papering my brother's crush's house, and now they're married, so it's fine. Anyway, so
I guess, no, I was like, I have a running from police.
you gotta speak louder. Did you guys hear her say it again?
I didn't want to say it loud because I didn't know if I wanted to tell the story.
Okay.
I'm here to hear stories. That's
I
And
know,
tell
but
stories.
it's like it's not something I really discuss. I don't know what the statute of limitations on certain things is.
How many years has it been?
A while. I was, okay.
Well, no, how many years has it been before you tell the story and incriminate yourself?
Long enough.
5 years.
It's not murder or something, so I'm pretty sure it's fine.
I know, but like 10 years, 15 years?
7, 8 maybe?
Oh no,
Seven's
hold off for a little bit. I think 7 is like right around there.
Yeah,
so
7's the big number.
yeah.
Okay.
Until you're certain it's been over 8, don't say it.
I just don't want to get in trouble for something I did forever ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not what this podcast is about.
Yeah, we're not here to get anybody in trouble.
We'll skip
Okay.
that one.
So we've heard 2 of your arrest stories. You have 3
Uh-huh.
more.
What?
So what's the next interesting
All of
one?
them?
Maybe.
Oh, geez. The
Shoot
other
you on the
ones,
spot.
other ones were so boring. Like, there was one where I had missed a court date up where I live now, and what was it for? I think it was speeding. It was reckless speeding. That's what it was, in a school zone.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So I was going like 55 and a 25
Ooh,
in
I've had something like
school
that.
zone.
Ooh, but
And
not in the
so,
school
I
zone
mean,
for
we're
me.
talking like a $2,500 ticket.
Oh my god, I guess I got lucky.
Like it was
Woo-wee.
big. It was a bad deal.
That's
I was on
a
my way to
lot.
work, and it was literally just hit 7 o'clock,
Oh.
and so it was oops, bad timing
Yeah.
kind of thing. Because
Oh yeah, because it's only a school zone between the hours of
7 and 4.
yeah.
Well, but it pauses, right? Because it's like during drop-offs and pickups. But in the middle
No,
of the day,
some
where they're in
places it's
classes-
during school hours period. What
Yeah.
if they're leaving for school, the playground or whatever it's supposed to be like?
Or
In
if
a
there's
lot of places,
child
it's not,
present,
yes.
is what it is.
So during
But the
school
ones
hours,
that have like the flashing lights, they only flash to say it's a school zone during
During
drop-offs
school.
and pickups.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is a small town, so there wasn't
It's all
anything
the
like
time.
that. It,
Yeah.
You know, and so literally it just hit like 7 o'clock and got pulled over. I was like, okay, great. Which is crazy because self-incriminating here, but I drive like 102 miles on a regular basis.
And
Like,
nothing happens.
and then never get pulled over. But, you know, do 55 in a 25 school zone.
which
and-
25 is not
Yeah.
fast.
And it's like double in a school zone because of that.
Yeah.
Or
and-
work zone.
And so I had missed my court date for that, and so license got restricted for that. So I've had my license revoked like twice.
I'm about to get mine back
After the
Let's
first, it's
go!
been
Almost-
how many years?
since 2008.
Oh my
17
gosh.
years.
Let's go, sis! Way to go!
Isn't that
So
awesome?
excited. It's taken a long because I avoided it for so long,
Yeah.
and it's been suspended. I don't think they can suspend it after it's already suspended, but it was like,
hmm
well, it's suspended, and if it comes unsuspended, it's still suspended. Like it was an indefinite type thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So there was definitely a warrant for my arrest
Oh,
sure.
okay.
on this one.
On this one?
For this one, yeah. And when I had moved, I didn't even think about it, and so I got pulled over by a police officer down there. So in the LDS religion, Mormon religion, our teenagers, the high school kids, they'll have like an early morning, what we call seminary. It's
Okay.
just like an early morning Bible study before school.
Yeah, like a service thing.
Yeah, and I dropped my stepdaughter off at that and was on my way home, and they pulled me over and they were like, "Oh, we have a warrant here," and I was like, "Oh, well, I mean, I'm not gonna be in any trouble, but do you mind if I just take the car home because it's the only car we have?" And it was literally right around the corner. He's like, "Yeah, go
That's
ahead."
cool. He just
I was,
followed you?
yeah, he was super cool
Oh,
about
that's
it.
awesome.
I was like, "Yeah, we don't have to do the lights and everything. Like, don't make it a big deal."
That's cool.
It's 7:00 in the morning. Like, no one needs to be dealing with this.
Right. Sometimes they can be.
Yeah, and he
Sometimes it's easier for them, certain things too. Like,
Yeah.
they're like,
and he was super cool. I pulled up. I had called my wife at the time. Hey, I'm on my way, about to get arrested, go to jail, blah blah blah. I'll leave the keys on the dash, whatever.
I'm about to get arrested, so here's the
Yeah,
car.
yeah, and she
She's
was
like,
like,
"What the
she's
crap?"
like, "Oh, well, that's very nice of him." I was like, "Yeah, super nice." And
Did you leave him a good review?
I should have gone on Yelp and been like, "This guy." But yeah, so this is another like smaller town in Arkansas, and like, but they were really cool. And what happened? I got booked, and then bonded.
Was that a high bond too?
Yeah, it was high enough that I even requested to just stay. I was like, "Can I just do my time?"
And like,
And,
some places will, some places will not.
and they didn't. They were like, "Look, if you can bond out, just bond out."
How high was it? Do you remember?
I remember we had to pay like $250. Was the minimum to get bonded out.
Okay.
So I mean,
So they used to let you do payments.
but they were planning on. Well, yeah, the $250 was the first payment,
Okay.
and it was going to be like 6 months of $250.
You can't do that anymore. They passed a law this year in January.
Yeah. But they were calling around and they were like, "Hey, the warrant's out up here. Do you want us to ship them up there to you guys?" And I was like, "Please don't, please."
That's what they did with her over and over and over.
Yeah.
But the company, the arresting company that wanted me had to come pick me up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So when I was in that facility for a year, the other place had to come get me every so often, 4 hours each way.
Oh,
Not with the way this
jeez.
one guy drove. It was like not even 3. He was fast as fuck. Fast as fuck, boy.
We love that. We love
So fast. Yeah, each way, and then they'd house me for like 6 days until court. Then I have court, and the next day they bring me back, and they did that I think 7 times.
that. Oh, wow.
But thank the Lord above, because otherwise I would have finished at the one facility after a whole year.
And then had
Then
to
been
go to
there
the other
for
one.
after 7 court dates, so I might have been there almost a year as well.
Oh my gosh.
So thank the Lord that they do that type of stuff where they go back and forth, because it would have been consecutive instead of together.
Yeah.
And I was already taking care of like both. So yeah, they will transport you, but that is crazy. It seems like a waste of money. Like they wouldn't do it on Zoom. I kept asking the transport officer, "Why don't you Zoom this?" And they're like, "I don't know. We sure as hell am tired picking your ass up."
Yeah, which is weird because when we're there to see JFK, he does Zoom, like,
Into the jail. Oh, and some people that are in rehab facilities, some that are in actual prison, they
so
will
they couldn't have
Zoom
done
the
it
court.
with here.
Did
Seems
it?
like such a waste of
The-
Or
resources.
custody battles or stuff
the,
like that.
the county I was in the longest, when I was in court, you don't leave the jail there for court like you do the other place. You sit there in this little, in the jail court, and you Zoom with the judge from the real court.
Mm-hmm.
So like they'll pause with actual civilians to do the inmates. You can see the court.
So they won't take you from a building to like 20 minutes away,
Not
if
at this
that,
place.
but they'll take you 4 hours away and then 4 hours back. That's so stupid.
Not at this place, but I have been places that transport you to the jail before. Like COVID changed everything with the jail system and Zoom.
Yeah.
They used to shackle your feet, hands to the belt, and you're like on a chain gang. You can't move, and then you go
Did you say a
downstairs.
chain gang?
Yeah, it's called a chain gang.
That's hilarious.
It's
Literally
hilarious,
what
but
it's
it's
called.
literally what it's called.
Has been
believe
from
it,
the
but-
beginning of time too.
I've heard
Back
that
when
before.
slavery
You know
was a
that's
thing.
what that was.
Yeah.
I've heard it.
There's a song on the chain gang. I'll have to play it for you.
No, but I always thought that was
That's
like,
like a really popular
I thought
song in
it-
the 70s.
I thought
Yeah.
it was like a word for like a gang, you know, like,
No.
oh, we're the chain gang.
Oh,
You're like
no.
literally all connected to shit, and they would bring you from there to the core, but you're
They
all
shouldn't have made
connected.
it sound so like funny and cool. Like,
Why do they make it so poppy?
yeah, like
Why
I'm
does
a
it go
chain
together
gang.
so well?
I want to be part of the chain gang.
It just has a ring to it, you
How do I
know?
join this?
Anyone that sees that is going to be like, oh, yep, that does not sound appealing.
I would not want to be shackled at all, let alone to other people.
I was lucky
Nope.
enough during transport that they did not do that to me when I drove. I had to be handcuffed, but they would always do it in the front, and they wouldn't do my feet and stuff.
Oh,
That's awesome.
I have been transported, though, from, can I say the state?
From you didn't.
From where my dad lives
Okay.
to
To here?
here.
Yeah.
9 hour, whatever, even more than that drive, and I was shackled.
Oh.
The
Yeah.
whole entire drive.
How did they let you go pee?
It was two gentlemen, and they had to stop at a gas station, and this lady with her child, you would have thought they seen a murderer, because I'm like full on jumpsuit of my red outfit that I wore when I got arrested.
Oh no.
And I'm like shuffling like this, and these two officers are here walking with me, and this lady goes, and grabs her kid. And I'm like, they probably thought I was a murderer or something
Jesus.
crazy. And then they can't go in the bathroom with me because they're guys.
So they have to clear the bathroom
They have to
first.
clear the bathroom, making sure like they're outside, making sure there's not a window. So the one guy stands outside where there could have been a window. The other guy's at the door, so I couldn't go in or out either way. And this one gentleman in the gas station, little southern guy's like, I'll watch her if you guys need to pee too. And
And
then
I thought they were gonna be like, "Oh, cool, thanks, bro."
And
Yeah,
they go,
dude.
sir, I don't think you can do that. They just giggle. And then they have to unhook me from here so I can pull up my pants, but I'm still shackled.
That
not
guy
to
was probably
this.
thinking, "I'll take her,
Oh,
bring her back to my
man.
house."
And they let you get food, but you pay for it. It's all part of your fines. I had to pay for the food. For all of us,
Really?
and the gas. When,
So
when
any-
they pick you up from that far, yes.
During an entire 9-hour drive, if you want to eat it all,
You're
paying for it.
extradited. Yeah, you're
They don't
extradited.
provide like their basic ass bologna sandwiches
Right.
and stuff.
They don't have any of that. You're being transported hours away on the road.
Yeah.
Wow,
So I
wonder what
cover-
it's like coming from
I
one
cover
country
their
to another.
gas. I cover their hotel, and then you have to be
You
extradited.
cover the gas?
I paid for the entire trip. It's my fault they're going to pick me up when
Yeah.
you're extradited.
Wait, so when
Yeah.
they, but not when they transported you back and forth
No.
for 4 hours.
No, I
No, that's
asked
on the
about
company.
that.
Yeah.
That would have been a whole lot of cost on you. That
I
would've
asked
sucked.
about that, and they said no, because if they did, they would have been able to let me get food. Because I'd always, every place we'd stop, I'd be like, please let us stop at Krispy Kreme. I won't tell anybody. They're like, you know how many people have offered to cash app us?
I'll cash app you.
To get
How?
food?
You don't even have your phone.
People would probably call somebody on the outside and be like, hey, I don't know.
Cash app
You
this
ask
guy.
them everything possible. You'd be like, back in the day, they used to let you, when I smoked, they would let you smoke.
That's crazy.
When you were transported, you would always hope for an officer that smokes. If they smoke, you'd be like, can I have a cigarette? And they'd be like, yeah.
They should have a jail cash app for each jail so they
There you
can
go, like
without
a
connecting it to the person.
Well, not a card. That'd be a bad deal. But
No, maybe not a card, but like one account tied to the jail and not the officer, so it doesn't give any way.
Yeah. You know what? And I thought I was going home, so I didn't order much. My fucking dumbass was there like 4 months.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll be out because they told me what my bond was. Well, other things hadn't popped up.
oh no.
So I was like, $750. Hell yeah, I'll be out. I got this. No problem. So they're like, what do you want from, I think it was McDonald's possibly. We stopped at 2 different places. And I was like, oh, not just like a double cheeseburger and like a small fry. I was so mad when I got to jail. I was kicking myself. Because I could have been like, I'm paying for it. I find out after the fact. I should have been like, let me get a number 1 through number 5.
One of everything on the menu.
And
I'm gonna
eat the
eat
whole
like
way.
a fucking queen.
Oh, I
Yeah.
was so mad.
One of you guys needs to get shirtless and start feeding me grapes. Like, we're
I'll
making
pay
this
extra.
happen.
extra.
That's hilarious. You should have been like, since this is basically my last meal for a while, can I have a steakhouse?
The crazy thing is, though, when you're extradited like that, you're held by the other place, and you don't go from that place until you go to court to give them permission to pick you up from another state.
Yeah.
So you have to give them permission.
So you could sit there forever if you don't.
You're gonna sit there a while. They'll tell you can fight it, but they're going to be able to come get you. You're just gonna be here longer, and it's not gonna count towards whatever you have going there.
Right.
Oh, that's.
And they were supposed to come get me, and there was a crazy snowstorm, so I was there 26 days
Jeez.
Oh my God.
in a very small facility. Like the
Is this when you were at the hotel and they came and got you from the hotel? Weren't you staying
at
in a
my
hotel?
dad's. No, it came and got me from my dad's house.
Oh, okay, different time then.
Yes, not this time. Not that time. Probably some other time. Yeah, that was crazy. And I was in that facility for quite a little bit.
Ooh, that sucks.
It was actually the best jail food I've ever had though, because it was so small. It only housed women. They only had like 20 to 30 women. That's it.
Oh, that's
Wow.
awesome.
So what
That's
was the
not bad
food
at
like
all.
there?
Okay, so like biscuits like this freaking big, gravy, bacon, orange juice, milk.
I'll take
Wow.
that.
It
Absolutely.
was-
He's like,
Honestly-
I'm a woman.
Better food than I've had at like some school lunches, like taco, like real food.
Wow.
Wow.
There was a TV. We had a real razor there, a shower curtain. It was a very
You had a
small-
razor?
A razor. The one county, not the one I was at the longest, but that other one, we used to have razors.
Huh.
They would check them into you, and you get like an hour or so with it, and they'd come back and gather them, and they would just check and make sure the razor was in it. But the girls were like, we don't want to fuck this up, so nobody had a problem.
Yeah.
We would like to shave, but was it one communal razor?
No, they're disposable
Okay.
little yellow razors.
That would be bad.
The toenail clippers are communal.
Ooh,
And
I,
did-
would let them
remember
grow.
when I told you that I didn't clip my toenails for like 8 months, and I had
That's
to
right.
because it was a velociraptor toenail.
Oh
Ew.
man.
Was
I
it
that's
like your
rough.
fingernails
That's
right
rough.
now?
It was like my fingernails. But you don't understand. I was so worried because one girl showed me that she had gotten a fungus from clipping her toes with it, and I was terrified.
I
Yeah.
would be too.
I was so
Absolutely.
terrified. So
I
like
would
I
have chewed
waited.
them off.
I waited so long to clip my toenails, and then one day I made them sanitize the hell out of them. I'm like, I have to. It was poking through my socks, and the socks are $3 a piece, and they're like, Kayla, you have to clip your toenails.
Jeez. See, I got really good at
So bad.
you know, after a shower and they get a little soaked, you know, just ripping them off.
Yeah, there was
Good.
a point I could do stuff like that too. But that big one was not coming. It was the bigger one. It was
Oh
not happening.
no.
People do weird stuff. They try and clip their hair with them. They're back there, you know, trying to clip their hair and do. You get bored in there.
Yeah.
That's why you have to
absolutely.
sit with an officer like while you do it nowadays because people do double.
What? You have to sit with an officer to
At
clip
this
your
at
toenails?
this county, like the other one, they would drop them off and come back. This one would sit with you, or you go sit at the little desk and they like could see what
This
you're doing.
one? Okay. Wow.
They'd sit
That's
there,
nuts.
and then they'd
You don't even
sanitize
think
it
of
in
those
between.
things. Like, how do you shave in jail? How do you cut your nails in jail?
Well,
Yeah.
We talked about
Magic
shaving on the last
shave.
episode. Yeah.
Magic shave now, which
It's
is
crazy.
Which is so awkward and weird. You use your name badge or your ID to.
You haven't had to deal with any of that, but also you're a man, so it would be
I have to
less.
say, my arms have never
The
been
guys
shaved.
didn't
I don't shave
care.
my arms either.
I meant more or less like underarm.
If I had black hair, I would look like an absolute gorilla.
So I didn't shave my
Right.
legs the whole year I was there.
I'm so glad they're transparent.
I mean, I'm glad that my hair is like.
But my
less
my
visible.
leg hair does not grow, so this is like 8 months of not shaving my legs.
What?
I don't have to shave.
I have laser hair
Lucky
removal,
dog.
and my legs are still hairier than yours. I'm
I
only
think
like
it's-
2
I've been
appointments
told,
in
like,
on my
years
legs.
of
Yeah, me
wearing-
too.
Blue jeans. Well, years of wearing blue jeans that it'll literally rub your hair to where it doesn't grow in
Sure.
spots.
I don't wear
There's
jeans,
my calves.
so I would not know.
I don't grow hair on my calves.
Some guys have that happen
Really?
with the
Yeah.
tight jeans and sweat and years of working. It just doesn't. Thank the Lord, I didn't have to use Nair there or whatever.
Wow, I pay a lot
Yeah.
for laser hair.
I did my underarms and I would use a pencil and do my little eyebrow.
Oh,
I'd be like,
looking
Oh, you
good.
fancy, huh? Nail done, hair done, everything
Now,
done.
me and my friends, I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but we've gone to the I can fix them stage. I don't know.
oh, with
Oh,
like
when you're dating someone?
relationships.
Yeah, kind of thing where
Oh,
you'll go online to see how long who's been booked and their
Oh,
no, we haven't done
and
that.
then you're like, I'll bond them out. I can fix them.
Oh God, I wish somebody would do that with me.
Did you actually bond somebody out?
I haven't yet. No,
I know a
buddy
lot
did.
of girls that
My
got
buddy
bonded
did
that
in
way
Texas.
though.
Yeah.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
so what happened with your friend and his jailbird girl?
Nothing. I mean, they didn't like.
Most girls
She
use
was
sites
like,
for that. They don't
she
wanna
was
do
like,
anything.
thanks.
Bye.
I'm gonna go call my boyfriend or whatever.
But did he talk to her for a little bit before he bonded her out, or he just immediately
no,
bonded her
just went down there and was
out?
like, hey,
Good Samaritan.
I'm gonna bond you out, and
I know guys do that because you know how many people message me, and I was thinking maybe it was like someone else I knew, like a friend maybe from school or something, and like seen me and trying to add me, and I'll add people, and then I'd be like, do I know you? And they're like, no, I just saw you on the inmate roster and thought you were cute. And I'm like, delete.
Wait,
Or
but
they
did-
sent it to me COD, which means cash on delivery. Like I had to pay to read their message, and I was like, if you're too broke to even send me a 50-cent text, Goodbye, sir.
Yeah, you're done.
You're
Wait,
done.
so the girl that he picked, did he look at her picture and be like, "Oh, she's a cute one. I'll
Yeah,
take
yeah,
her"?
that's literally how they pick them. Yeah.
That's
Well, I
hilarious.
must look good in my mugshot. What the hell?
Fix her. I can fix her.
I wasn't
So,
that broke,
did he
and they're
only-
probably like, "Oh, her charges aren't that bad."
Did he only do it one time,
Yeah.
and then he learned his lesson?
Yeah, he hasn't done it since. But I mean, this was literally only like a month ago, so
What?
this may happen again. I don't know. We'll see.
Ah, let's help him and then see if we can like have her on the podium.
Just be like,
Dear Lord.
how did her jail time go?
Love at first release.
So, well, that would be interesting, actually.
Let's try like blind
That'd
dating
be
people that get out of
hilarious.
jail.
I don't know if that's
Oh, that would be a
good.
fun game show. Let's reality TV.
What's behind door number one?
Matchmakers.
It's like an inmate thing, but like this one's only been to prison this long.
And
likes-
these are her charges.
He like long walks. He likes long walks down fenced areas.
He can
He
go
can't go
this many
too far
months.
because he has an ankle bracelet, so you don't worry about him cheating, ladies.
About to say.
Oh my god. Did he look at her charges before he chose her?
Yeah. Yeah, so you get to see all that.
That's good.
Oh
At
Yeah.
least he didn't like bail out a freaking murderer or something.
You can't bail out a murderer.
Yeah, they're
Murderers are
flagrant.
noble ones.
I don't know. Sometimes they do crazy shit with like strong charges, so you never
Well,
know.
okay.
If they have a
I'm
good
lying.
lawyer.
I'm lying.
If they have a good lawyer.
For instance, there was a guy that just went to jail for murder in there where I was that did get bonded out. Him and his 19-year-old girlfriend. Remember I told you the story? He'd shot someone over a pair of pants.
Oh my god.
They were fighting over a pair of pants outside this girl's house. The one girl's 16 and 17, and they were fighting over a pair. No.
Start the story from the
There
beginning.
were two cases where there were 19-year-olds that were with their boyfriends who also got charged with murder because their boyfriends shot somebody.
Yeah, watch who you
Allegedly.
hang out with.
Allegedly. But he did bond out. And his family put together the money before he went. I mean, he was going to jail. He went to jail.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went and got married before he went, so he had someone he could have conjugal visits and shit with when he went. Because you have to
Wait,
be
so he
like,
went to prison?
yeah, for murder.
Okay.
But
and they
he
bonded out of prison?
He bonded out while he was waiting for his trial at this county.
Mm.
And you can do that, yeah.
You can if you have a bond.
If you're not
But
a
they
flight
set the
risk
bond
or-
so high. How are you
Yeah.
not flight risk if you've murdered someone?
I mean, some people.
I understand you don't have a
get
huge
charged
history.
with murder, but
You're still fighting the case. There's not evidence, so there's things.
Yeah.
And especially if I think the judge will look at it and be like, "Hey, you don't have much evidence in this case. You don't even look like you don't have violent charges. There's not a history of this, so we're going to give you a chance. Don't run. Find you."
We will find
I
you.
think his bond was $850,000
My God.
because his bond was like $8 million or something million. He bonded out for like something $100,000.
That's
Jesus.
crazy.
Can you imagine
I
having
cannot
just
remember the
that much
exact
money
amount.
sitting around? You're
Oh,
like,
I do.
I
I really have to look.
I would not use it to bail someone out of jail.
His family probably
Absolutely.
wanted him to have time out before they knew he was going to prison.
If I had a kid
He's
and
going
I
like 25 years to life.
fuck that. If I have a kid and I know my kid committed murder and I know he did it, I am not spending $850,000. I don't care if I, have
think
10
he only
million.
got like 6-7 months for that, just to spend with family and do stuff before he went back to
Well,
trial. Much to
shouldn't
do.
have been stupid and killed somebody over a pair of pants.
I don't know if this was the case, the pant case, but there were 2 girls in jail, both 19, both pregnant, and had their babies. One of them had their baby in the jail.
Excellent decision makers.
Yeah.
One of them really sweet and impressionable, young, like not. If
Don't
you
get
knew,
pregnant by a murderer.
well, I don't think she knew that he was going to murder somebody. It's really dumb situation. Sometimes things just happen and people don't think, and then.
Guilt by
Maybe
association,
drinking.
you have to be careful who you hang out
Well,
with.
yeah, because the girl didn't even fire the gun. I got to.
You
sit-
don't have to touch the gun to get in trouble. If you're there and something
She
happens,
she
you can be
wasn't
in trouble.
honest about it, and I think tried to help hide it after the fact because she didn't want her
That's
boyfriend in
super
trouble.
illegal.
Now she got the almost the
Accomplice.
same. I was in
Aiding
jail
and
when they
abetting.
sentenced her, and it was very sad because I had to hear the victim statement of the parents of the child that died.
Oh man.
So I had to hear them read out loud what they felt after their daughter, who was 17, died over a pair of pants.
That's sad.
And the judge
Over a
reprimanded
pair
the
of
girl.
pants.
It was crazy
That's
sad.
crazy.
Crazy hard to be in jail to hear because you see that on TV. You don't get to see that. I mean, I just watched a 19-year-old be sentenced to possible life,
Bye.
and then her victim statement about why she did it was not very like what's the word I'm looking for? She didn't seem super remorseful,
Yeah.
and she kind of almost seemed like she was giving a reason why, and the judge was so pissed.
Like an excuse instead of.
Yes, and the judge was like, I think you need to reword that, or I'm not going to give you the deal that was agreed upon. You're going to get life, because I think the 25 was like a negotiated plea.
So she didn't touch the gun or shoot the person, but she got 25 years.
She was in the car, and she tried to stash the gun and did not. She was not honest, forthcoming with police about information
She
and
got
finding
25
it.
Yeah,
years.
if you're
Fuck.
guilty by association, an accomplice, and all that,
25 years, that's
aiding and abetting.
nuts.
I mean, those charges really add up.
For that
Yeah.
girl, yes, it was that one was the pair of pants, and I think it was in
That's
Springfield.
such a long time for that. Fuck. Please.
They had
be
rode up and they were
wise.
arguing about a pair of pants from Kohl's or something that she had, and I guess the boyfriend pulled out a gun. There were two girls sitting on the tailgate, and I think that two got shot. One lived, and the other one died.
My God.
That's crazy.
What pair of pants? Was it studded
And
with
the
diamonds?
judge even said in court, "You do realize this whole ridiculous thing was over a pair of pants." Like, she was pissed.
Yeah, like what? How much were those pants worth? $25 freaking dollars.
And the
from
people,
Kohl's?
their victim statement is like, just to think about it, all this over clothes, like, we're just heartbroken. She was, I think, 16 or 17, the girl that died.
Oh,
That's
that's so
wild.
sad.
And this girl was 19.
no one deserves
Has now
to lose
lost
a
her
child.
life also. There's so many lives in the mix now that are affected. The parents, the
Yeah.
child, the person that died, the kid in jail, like, the child's, she's a mom, so that child now too.
Yeah.
And then
I
maybe
wonder
their
if they'll-
children's children, it's gonna be,
I wonder if they will let the baby go to her parents or if it's going to go to foster
I don't
care.
know how that works. I know the other girl that I was in there with that is also going for, I think, 20 years for a similar situation, being around a guy, gun, blah, blah, blah. She had her baby in this facility.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Not in the jail, but they take you to,
Yeah.
they transport you to, whatever.
But you can't keep your kid there, so.
No, but they
Right.
do allow you to breast pump if you are going, like your family is going to keep your kid. They allow you to go in a room and nurse, and you have a little kit they give you, and they check everything, and then they take your milk, and they have to come pick it up at the front.
Wow. Well, that's
Because they
pretty
still
cool.
want to make sure that your baby still gets.
Healthy.
They could just say
I
use
mean-
the formula.
the nutrition and everything.
They could do that, it's a lot, but I think there's like certain rights in order and stuff. So I think her family has hers. But
Okay.
it's like, how long are they gonna, I guess forever.
Yeah.
She's in there almost 20 years, for a child to be 20 years.
Basically not her kid at that point.
That's her
It
kid's
really
life,
sucks.
so.
She gets to see pictures and costs $1 a picture, that's a lot.
That's sad.
Prison's probably gonna be easier for her. County, she was in county for over 2 years. Both of them were there a very long time. I was the third person there the longest, as opposed to those girls.
Yeah, it sounds like prison's way better than jail. Not that I would
They were
wanna go
ready to
either,
go.
but
It takes a long time to go through the process, and then once you get sentenced, you could wait up to a year to be transported just whenever there's beds available, and it's not in order of who got sentenced. That's not how it works. You're gonna think about it. They're pulling for people for prison from all sorts of states and counties. So it's not in who order just got sentenced, it's how long that person is gonna be there. If you're gonna be there a long time, like say 20, 25 years, they're really not in a hurry to get you, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But somebody that should be out of the system, like a turnaround, like say they're gonna be there a month, get their number, and then they're out of the system, they're gonna get that person first, because they'll be in and out.
that seems really stupid.
But it's, how else are you gonna do all those
So
things?
if
You
you're-
can't go in order. If somebody goes in order, you're waiting 25 years for this person to leave. It's like, who's gonna be there the longest, and when there's a bed available, and what kind of charges you have, and where they're
But
housing
if they're only
you.
going to be there a month, just keep them a month in county jail.
It doesn't count towards your time until you touch down and get a prison
That
number.
was what I was going to ask. So if you're going to do 25 years in prison, but you have to wait 2 years in county to get to prison, that doesn't count toward your 25 years?
It depends on the deal that you've made. There is something that you can sign where it comes off the front of your time or the back. And I forget which is which. If it's off the front end, it means that's time that goes towards your sentence. If it's off the back end, it means when you get out, it's less, they'll give you credit towards your parole.
What?
So like say she does 10 years, she paroles, and instead of doing 20 years parole, they'll give her 18 because she did 2 years in county jail. Does that make sense? Like they give you somewhat of a discount. It's like, oh, you did 2 years.
You get discounts in
some of your
jail,
life.
in prison.
This
Plus,
is like
that's awful.
rollover jail minutes. It rolls over to your whatever.
Wow.
But some people get it off the front, meaning like, say I had been sentenced, they were going to give me, I wasn't going to sign. If I was going to do that, I was going to sign something saying it comes off the front. Like say I got 5 years credit for a year, I only want to do a year front end.
Okay.
So then you do less time.
Okay.
You have to touch down and get a number though. You have to touch down on the compound, get a prison number. You cannot leave until you get your prison number because you get booked in. They do a mental health thing. There's so much. 2
This
weeks
seems
of,
so
of
unnecessary.
intake there.
If you served the time already in a freaking facility, then you shouldn't have to go get a prison number. It should just be, yeah, you were supposed to do this time, you did it here, you're released, you're done.
It's just different, I guess. County is like the whole.
Dear
It's like
Lord.
I told you, it's like purgatory until you figure out where you're going next.
Yeah.
Whether it's a boot camp, like the RPF, like I told you,
A rehab.
a rehab. A lot of people get out of jail because they agree to go to a rehab.
Yeah.
And they have to complete that program or they're right back. My
God.
friend that went through that, now she's a counselor at this rehab though.
All of that is very stressful.
It's a lot.
It
And
is
then
a lot.
adding on top of that, like the jail food, the nail clippers, I feel like I'm gonna have a fucking aneurysm.
Oh, and you got mold.
Never, ever
You
wanna
got
go to
mold
jail.
in places where you're getting your water from. I mean,
Ew.
it's damp and it's cement and it's painted over cement rock that's been painted over God knows how many times. And it's like peeling in the shower. And
Yeah, it's
think about showering with some of the most dirty people you have ever.
so
Oh,
humid
no.
and disgusting.
Yeah, it's like a breeding ground for mold.
I think I would much rather. No, I don't think. I really love my bed in my house. I will live
So-
trapped in my house on just my piece of land for the rest of time if I have to. and
This
it
most
means-
recent facility was very clean. That's another reason I liked it because to use the phone or computer and stuff, you had to clean. Your mop bucket got pushed in there, and you had to sweep and mop after each meal. And they bring in supplies, watch you use Ajax, clean every day, or you couldn't use the phone and stuff.
Oh, it's
So your
good.
shirt was clean.
That's good. 'Cause I'm a little
Cleaner.
OCD sometimes.
And then you have girls that wouldn't shower with their shower shoes.
Can
Just
you
walk
imagine me
Oh,
in
it's
jail
gross.
with how dirty,
Gross.
like with how OCD?
You and mom would they put them in mental facility, like the
Oh,
lockdown
yeah,
area,
fucking
because they
breakdown.
would be losing their fucking. They'd be like, "I'm sorry." My mom would be like, "What? I'm sorry. You don't have hot tea, honey. I don't like this type of food. Wait, where's this meat from? Where was this sourced from?
Oh yeah, mom would throw a fit.
Is this
But for me, it would be
organic? Ew,
like,
food coloring.
Ew, you touched that. Can you clean it? Like she came home the other night from going out
Oh,
somewhere.
you'd be fucked.
She leaned on my bed to do this with
Like-
her head, and I was like, "Your arms! You were at a place. You touched
This part of
this."
my arm touched, and she was like, "No!"
And she was getting close with her shirt, and I was like, "Stop!" And she was like, "Well, I didn't sit down at that place." I was like, "But you sat at that place, and you
Did
leaned
your
on
arms? She goes, "Did your arms touch the bar?" And I'm like,
Yeah, you touched the pool table. I know you did. I was literally like, now you gotta wash my bedding. I was so upset. And I literally at one point
Would not
said,
make
get
it.
off my bed.
"Would not make it." You get bra and underwear, but everybody else has worn them.
Ooh, I would go out. Can I
They're
just not
stained
wear
and
underwear?
stuff. Yeah. You don't want to not wear underwear either because your cuckoo still won't touch the inside of those little things other people wore.
I just kill myself.
And you know, the laundry detergent doesn't smell
I'm going
great.
to stay out of trouble continuously. I'm glad I've never been, and for the rest of my life,
That's
I will
the
never.
point of this. We want to help people not go because some of the petty stuff you can go for, you don't want to go.
Yeah, if you steal a $5 thing at Walmart,
You're
can
probably
go to
could
jail.
go. Yeah. Some of my stuff was the smallest petty theft, and it wasn't even putting something in my bag. It was not ringing it up.
Oh yeah, if you accidentally forget to ring something. I read a story about
It
this
was an
woman.
accident, but-
I read a story about this woman who was checking out at the thing, and it was like during Christmas time, and she had like 3 freaking kids with her.
That does happen.
2 of them were sick, but she forgot to ring something in because like it had been moved or whatever. She thought she rang it, or the kid did it, or whatever.
Sometimes it doesn't beep either, and you're busy or focused.
But they arrested her regardless.
I've
They
seen it at
didn't
Walmart
just give
before.
a warning, and they were like, "Well, it doesn't matter if you didn't mean to. No, you can't pay for it right now." Because she was like, "I'll pay you for it," and they were like, "No, we're arresting you," and they arrested her. Isn't that fucking
Yeah.
horrible with kids
It
there?
happened to my friends too.
Really?
Yeah, they were banned from all WalMarts too and everything.
And they didn't do it on purpose?
Mm-mm.
Oh my god.
And it was-
It's so common that they just
It
don't
was
care
it was a
anymore.
thing of ramen, like
Are you
a
serious?
bag of
18
ramen.
cents?
Yeah, like
What? And they got arrested?
yeah.
Were there kids there with them?
They didn't have kids. They don't have
Okay.
kids, but
That's still horrible.
but yeah.
though. Completely fuck up your life over an 18-cent packet. I'll give you $20 right now. Leave me alone. Like,
I've seen somebody online tackle leaving Walmart because they're like, "Can we see your receipt?" And he's like, "Why do I have to show you the receipt? It has the option to send it to me through text. I don't have to show you my receipt." And they were harassing him, and then he was getting a little aggressive because they were like, "Show us your receipt." And he's like, "I don't have to. I had it text to me. Like you
Yeah.
have the chance to email.
You should
don't have
comply.
to legally show you. We didn't even have it.
legal. Well, but he said text to him.
I don't know. It's
It's
guy
like
was-
when a police
he
officer
was being
pulls you
super
over.
aggressive though to the dude.
you even have the option of not having a receipt. So I mean,
You
Oh, I guess that's true.
so like the
Oh,
if
yeah.
you saw the video, the way they came at him was not like a.
Right,
I'm
but
gonna
it's
comply
just
with you,
like
right?
when you get pulled over and they ask for your license and people are like, "I don't have to give you that," and they start recording. Just fucking comply and it makes it easier.
I get
if
that.
you try to resist and be a dick, then it makes it harder. Just be like, "Yeah, I chose the no receipt option. Can we go back
Right.
and pull it up?"
It was pretty rough on the Walmart size bar. Like I'm pretty sure that they got fired because the way they handled it and physically tried to touch him and stuff like that without a context.
yeah,
It's not cool, but it would have made it better on his case if he had done his part better.
Just
Then it would make
Yeah.
them even worse.
Oh yeah, normally that seems to work, but the whole situation's
Anyway, I don't know how long we've hit in the episode, but I have a feeling we're probably over an hour.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
And
I think so.
Conversation's great, but I'm running 3 hours of sleep
3:23.
and I'm
That's
tired.
not too bad. Are we still gonna join?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us today with our amazing special guest, Jared.
And Biggie.
Very special episode.
Biggie's fly touching. Oh goodness.
Biggie,
Get that fly.
come on. We're trying to close out and you're making her make noise. Please, Roxy.
Wanna
Hush,
say goodbye?
Roxanne, don't make us turn on the red light.
Roxanne.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Goodbye from Kayla and Biggie. Goodbye from me.
Goodbye, guys.
Next time on Jail Tales.
Okay, we done?
Yes, we're done.